Welcome to the Dance Entrepreneurship Podcast, the podcast for studio owners, independent teachers, and all those bringing dance to their community. Each week, we talk money, mindset, and self-care. Let's get started. Hello. I am so glad to be back. I was off last week for Labor Day, and now we are ready to go in September. So I want to talk today about the power of reflection and journaling. When I talk about the concept of reflection and journaling, for me, it's something that I've always done. Even as a child, I kept a diary of all the things that were on my mind, things that I was considering, things I was hoping for, things that frustrated me as well. And I found that it's really useful in business to take time on a regular basis to reflect on where you're at, where you've come from, and where you want to be. So when you reflect on where you're at, just take the facts without judgment and really consider where you're at personally and professionally. Where are you with your money? Where are you with your operations, your goals, your family life? Maybe your time for leisure and spending time with friends and family. Really focus on, more important than everything, like, how do you feel? Do you feel burnt out, ragged, tired? Do you feel joyful? Are you feeling tired? Are you what is going on in how you feel day to day and the current? How have you been feeling this week, last week, and today? And when you think about how you feel, think about what then happens as a result of that. So I'll give you an example. If you're feeling really worn down and tired and exhausted and burnt out and you just can't take it anymore, right? The result that's going to come out of that is probably minimal. So you might actually find that you are working on a lot of things but not producing anything. You might find that you're in a place where what your energy is spent on is kind of catch-up work and not real meaningful work that gets you to where you need to be. And when you do that, I think it's so important to stop and take stock of where you're at so that you can change direction, right? If you just continue this miserable road of being burnt out and tired and not really getting anything done, it's going to keep feeding back into that cycle of feeling miserable and burnt out. So by taking time to reflect, you can actually start to change course and say, wait, I see that I'm just burnt out and I'm doing all this stuff and I'm not getting anything done. I'm feeling, worn out, and I'm not actually making any real change in my business or my personal life. So then how might you change what you do? How might you change what you've signed yourself up for to get a different result, right? And so that's kind of a good starting point for journaling. And then when you do that and you reflect on where you're at, you also want to look at your facts of where are you with your money? Are you right on track for your budget and your projections? Are you behind? Are you ahead? Think about those things without judging yourself, without saying, oh, I should have done more, or, oh, I didn't make my goal, I must be a terrible business owner, right? Instead, what you want to do is just say, this is where I'm at. What do I want to do moving forward? Do I want to put in the effort it takes, or do I want to stop where I am? Do I want to continue at the pace I'm at? Do I want to increase that? And think about what happens as a result of you increasing or decreasing energy around things to change your financial outlook. Now, a lot of times when people reflect, they might reflect on a recent recital or performance or something. And you also want to reflect on where you've come and what happened in the past. How many performances, how many students, how many faculty, how many goals, how many different things have you accomplished and done look at what you have done, what you have accomplished, and take a moment to appreciate and thank yourself for what you were able to do. I know you probably already thank your staff and your volunteers and everyone else, but what about you? Reflect on what you were able to do. Sometimes it was stuff that people said it was impossible. I know for me, there's been things that people said can't be done, and then I did it. And so I need to just remind myself of these things from time to time. And when we have this time to reflect, if we look back on where we were, it helps us to appreciate where we're at along the road to where we're going, right? If you never look back, it's hard to see that where you are right now is actually a reflection of your progress. So we kind of talked about how we look at where we're at today, look at where we've come from in our past, and then you want to reflect on your future. What about your future do you want to keep if you are on the current course? What do you want to change? What do you want to maybe get rid of? What do you want to keep striving for? What do you want to edit? Like what success looks like for you? And really take the time to think about that. It's really important to do this from time to time, especially in business, but just for your personal life, because so often we get busy in the day to day that we forget to pick our head up and actually see what direction are we heading in. And as you know from driving, right? Like if you're not looking at the direction you're headed in, then you might end up in unexpected and unwanted places. So much of our journey to personal success, professional success, is about intentionality, about choosing the path that we want to move forward. And while it may not always turn out the way that we had planned, you will find that by choosing your path, sticking to it, and moving towards something, you will see the most progress. It's hard to progress if you have no actual plan, if you have no actual direction that you're moving in. In fact, you could be moving in circles and not even realize it without taking the time to plan it out in advance. Now, my friends, I'm talking about all of this, and I also want to invite you to join me for the Studio Owner Fall Kickoff. We're going to be doing a 1 hour just training, learning, group journaling on September 10th. And I would love for you to join me. We're going to get together with other studio owners. We're going to process and think through, and we're going to sit down and actually work through this journaling process, where we are today, where we've come from, and where we're headed. We're going to do this. We're going to be intentional. This is a free training workshop, whatever you want to call it. And you are going to get out of it so much reflection and journaling for yourself, for your own personal and professional growth. You're going to set the tone for what's going to happen moving forward this season, what's happening at the end of 2024. Be sure to visit my website, gingerhaithcox.com/events, and I can't wait to see you on September 10th. Take care, and I'll talk to you next week. Hey there, this is Ginger. Thanks for listening to this week's episode. If you loved it, subscribe so you never miss an episode. And please share it with a friend and leave us a 5-star review so more people can discover the show. Resources can be found at gingerhaithcox.com, and you can find me on Instagram at HaithcoxBiz.